Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the brand Iscream Nails. I have their Faux Fur collection to share with you today, which is available right now. I also have a coupon code here for you to use. It's not an affiliate code, it doesn't give me anything. It is just money off for you if you would like to use it. Iscream Nails is an Australian company based out of Australia, and so their prices on their website are listed at $16.95, I believe, per bottle, which converts to about $12 to $13 per bottle for US dollars. They do ship internationally, so it would convert to a much more reasonable price, so don't be scared by the price tags. It's just the conversion of money. In the description box below, I will link the Iscream site as well as their Instagram page, and I'll also have my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of this collection. I will also link their stockists if you're like in the UK or something like that. They do ship worldwide, but they do also have other stockists, so I will leave all of that information in the description box below as well. So I have the 4-piece Faux Fur collection to share with you. I have a topper and then I have another random polish, and let's go ahead and get started. So first up we have Fluff Ball, and this is a putty tan cream shade. So here is our first coat of Fluff Ball. This is a little bit patchy and streaky here on this first coat, but it does build up nicely. It has a really nice formula, not too thick or too thin. It's nice and buttery to apply. And these brushes make it pretty easy to use as well. So I am going to go ahead and build this up with 3 coats. I did just apply cuticle oil before doing this application though, so depending on your application, you may end up getting away with 2 coats here. I also worked in pretty thin coats for the most part. This does dry down fast, and it does dry down decently glossy on its own. Actually pretty glossy, though if you want it to last any length of time, I would recommend a glossy top coat. I do have all of these on my Instagram shown with both a glossy top coat and Iscream's new frostbitten matte top coat if you're interested in seeing that. So again, this does cover completely in 3 coats for me, and it is a nice, neutral, beautiful polish. Cooper says hi. Very easy to use here though as well. And if you work in thicker coats, I'm sure 2 coats would be completely opaque. So there is 3 coats. Up next we have Honey Bear, and this is a peanut butter brown cream. So here's our first coat of Honey Bear. And this is really opaque here on this first coat. I can still make out my nail line, and there are a couple of light spots, so I am going to go in for a second coat. This self-levels really nicely, and it also has a magnificent formula that doesn't run or pull, not too thick or too thin. We also have the boys playing basketball in the background. My house is never quiet. So this does cover completely in 2 coats. It also dries fast. It also dries glossy. It is just very easy to use. And I don't think in any circumstance you would need 3 coats of this. Again, I also have this with their matte top coat on my Instagram page. So there is 2 coats. Next up we have Fuzzy Wuzzy, and this is like a chocolate brown with a kiss of gray, and it is a cream. So here's our first coat of Fuzzy Wuzzy. And I did just apply cuticle oil before this, so it is applying a little bit more patchy than it would otherwise, but it does still go on really nicely. This formula is a little bit on the thinner side, so it will run and pull if you do too thick of a coat, so I am working in relatively thinner coats. So here's our second coat, and to my surprise, even with all the patchiness on the first coat from my cuticle oil, this does cover completely in 2 coats. Just like the rest of them, these dry fast and they dry glossy. Again, easy to use, just make sure to work in thinner coats. I also didn't have any kind of staining or anything like that with this one being such a dark color. So there's 2 coats. Up next we have Plush, and this is like a rose gold, but it is more brown than a rose gold, and it does have that frosty feel to it without it being like a pearly finish. Here's our first coat of Plush. Again, another fantastic formula, easy to use, easy to work with, no running or pulling or anything like that. This one is one that you could easily get away with in 1 coat. Nobody would notice your nail line except yourself if it bothers you. go ahead and put on the second coat. I am going to go ahead and show you 2 coats today, and it does cover completely in 2 coats for me. This one also dries decently glossy on its own, and with it being a metallic polish, I had no issues with brush strokes hanging around after it dries or anything like that. It actually almost dries to a chrome-like finish, so there is 2 coats. Next up we have Hello Jello, and this is a bright fuchsia cream. Here's our first coat of Hello Jello. And this goes on really nice and evenly. It is a little bit sheer here on this first coat, so I am going to go ahead and build it up with 2. Depending on your application, you may opt for a 3rd coat of this, and how long or how strong your nail line is may require a 3rd coat for this as well. But it is a nice bright neon without needing a white base coat, which I truly appreciate. So here's our second coat, and this for me does cover completely in 2 coats. This also dries down fast. It does dry down to a completely matte finish, so if you don't like that finish, you will want a nice glossy top coat to finish this off. The topper that I'm going to show you next looks absolutely stunning over this as well. So there's 2 coats. And lastly we have Sugarcoat It, and this is an iridescent, like micro flaky and a clear base, and this does shift to like an oil slick finish depending on what color you layer it over. So here's 1 coat of Sugarcoat It over Licorice Twist. This has a great formula, no running or pulling. You won't be able to get this opaque on its own, and it is completely a topper. It does dry down a little bit dull, so you will want a nice glossy top coat, but that is a shimmer as opposed to a micro glitter in there, so it's not going to dry textured, it's not going to be difficult to remove or anything like that. It will just stick to your skin a little bit. So there's 1 coat. So my favorite of today's video is Plush. This is such a beautiful rose gold metallic shade. I mean, it's a standard rose gold. There are a lot of rose golds out there. It is a trendy type shade right now, so they're not difficult to find, but this is a nice quality one if you are looking for it. And that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up, and let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.